This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
Fan.
Minnesota comedian Jordan Klepper is bringing his laughs to Fillmore December 14th with the Suffering Fools Tour.
Oh, don't suffer the fools.
One night only. High energy, big laughs, no filter. Tickets available now. Get all the details. KFAN.com. Keep your calendar.
Hey, Common Man Program along with Tana B. Brett Blakemore back in studio. We're here at Hazeltine National Golf Club. Big announcement in case you missed it last week. Tennessee and I are overwhelmed. I think Brett might be as well. The trip, we just call it the trip now. The trip is going back to Las Vegas. I never saw it coming. Blindsided me. You know, that's why the announcement was so big, because Power Trip going to Las Vegas. I mean, they've only been there a couple, 13, 14 times, and all of a sudden we teased it as big announcement coming up. It was last Wednesday or whenever it was. Big announcement coming up, and all of a sudden, I was blown away. I'm still having trouble processing it. I don't know about you.
And it's a newer, refreshed
trip
that's
it. That's the beauty.
It's not the same Las Vegas trip you're used to.
No, that's for sure. This isn't your daddy's Power Trip trip to Las Vegas. This is new. It's fun, fresh, new, and exciting. Time for 534 here on the Common Man Program.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
All Vikings, let's win this game. You'll hear us yell for more.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the state of the skull.
Skull. The Vikings and safety Josh Metellus agreed to a 3-year contract extension worth $36 million, 25 of it which is guaranteed, and the contract has a maximum value of $42 million. Common, your thoughts on Metellus and the Vikings coming to an agreement?
I didn't realize. I think I read that he has some sort of podcast called Tellus Metellus. Kind of like that. It's got a nice ring to it. We've talked about it. He's kind of a hybrid player. I think I saw I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but he played at least, I think it was like 5, maybe even 6, lined up in 5 or 6 different spots on defense last year, which most guys just don't do. I mean, one might do too. You know, you might shift from edge rusher, and you might rush with your hand in the grass on another down, or you might be a slot cornerback, and then you might be also out on one of the right or left corner.
But some of his snaps were on the defensive line, which is
exactly so
pretty crazy.
And I think that was part of what I was able to sort of glean from reading the different pieces on it and talking to people and reading things were. That was part of the reason why it was hard to really put a price tag on him, because there was no other comparisons to make. I mean, we've seen this. Anytime a wide receiver signs and he's one of the elite ones, well, he signs for the biggest contract ever. Then the next one signs, he signs for another $1 million more, then another $1 million more. And if you're not in that top pantheon, you know where you're slotted in. It doesn't seem like it's too complicated, but they were having trouble. And I don't know why they would. I mean, you just, I think what like he said was, I'm a football player. I like to play football, and that's what I do. I'm a football player. I'm not really into positions, and he does fit that description. And I again, it's part of it probably has to do with the way B Flow's defense is. He likes to have. We talked about this last week. It seems like all the players have said there are different expectations from from game to game, series to series, sometimes even from play to play. There are players that are their responsibilities are different, and I think a lot of the players it keeps them interested, and they like it that way. It's good. I still don't know how the Brzezinskis of the world, these capologist guys, I don't know how they figure it out, because they just spent Now I know it's not all in one year. It's not like they spent $300 million in free agency. It's not like all $300 million is payable this year, but it is amazing how they'll find ways with all the different. You got a 53-man roster, and you're finding ways to give this guy money and front load and back load and bonus and all this. But yeah, I think it was important because I think he seems to be one of those team leaders, locker room leaders. He does bring a lot to the defensive unit. So I think you want to keep guys like that happy, and he deserved a raise, right? So I think
he definitely deserved. My one question though is, could he be the same player outside of a B-Flow defense? And if not, what happens if B-Flow's not our defensive coordinator moving forward? Right? What if the Vikings have another a year where they're top 5 defense in the National Football League and B-Flow's back up, his name's up there for head coaching gigs again next year, right? Yeah. And then would Metellus be able to provide the same thing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question number 2, Brett.
Question number 2. It's time now to consider the course.
Yeah, Kurt Kitayama won the 3M Open at the TPC Twin Cities in Blaine over the weekend. He shot 23 under par, topping Jake Knapp and Sam Stevens. Comment your thoughts on Kitayama winning up in Blaine.
Saturday, he shoots a 60, and he had an opportunity to shoot 59. I think he went to the last 2 holes, the par 3 17th and the par 5 18th. I think he went there with needing just 1 birdie. Maybe he needed 2, but I think it was 1. He wasn't able to do it, but he shoots 60. Then yesterday he shoots a 65. He played the front side in back-to-back days in 57. He was 28, so that would have been 6 under on Saturday and 5 under on Sunday, just the front side alone. So, yeah, he was brilliant. And it's that win right there, his second ever, gave him a big paycheck, vaults him into the top 50 for FedEx. So I think it's the top 70 get to play in this FedEx playoffs. That puts him in that position right now. Plus, I think that gets him into the Masters. He has a 2-year exemption now, too. 2 years where he doesn't have to do anything. Can play in pretty much every event, and I think he'll be eligible, depending upon where he finishes the year, in some of those signature events. Those the ones where they don't have as many players, so the purses are bigger. He'll be able to play in the Masters. I think he's got a couple of other major exemptions, so it worked out well for him. There's a lot of good young players on tour. They all a lot of them made some headway yesterday, but that course is. When it's for these guys, it's not too terribly difficult to begin with, and because of the rain on Wednesday night, Thursday was just go low, right? Just throwing darts in there. But yeah, kid can play, and it was a big win for him. Yep.
Question number 3.
I'm going to say something controversial. That's interesting.
It's time now for the controversial question of the day.
I actually have 2 controversial questions, but I'll save one for another day. Do you want the golf one or the non-golf one? I'll leave it up to you.
Let's go for the golf one.
Okay. Here's the scenario.
Okay.
You have 24 hours to birdie every hole at your favorite golf course. Let's just say Prestwick.
We'll go with
Prestwick. You have 24 hours to birdie every hole at Prestwick. If you do it, you get $500 million. If you don't do it, you have to spend 5 years in jail. Would you take that challenge?
No, would not.
You would not?
No, because especially...
It's a lot of pressure.
the thing is I'm not a very good player to begin with, and it depends. If you're telling me I get to pick when my you have like a half moon, a full moon, a waxing moon, and a waning moon.
Yeah.
If I'm in a waning golfing, I ain't taking that bet. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to birdie any of them. But if I'm playing my best, I might think, no, but I don't want to be in big house. No, I would just never do that.
Really?
Well, because what if I don't birdie one of those, and then the pressure...
No, there would be a lot of pressure.
Then the pressure,
there's no doubt.
Plus, when you're saying 24 hours, so like all of a sudden, I'm getting tired. I'm swinging so much, and all of a sudden it's like...
But I'm also guessing, like, if you had like a bad tee shot, you can just go redo the hole, right? You don't have to finish the hole. You can stop any hole at any point, so you could just keep hitting tee shots until one's close. The par threes, you could just keep hitting tee shots till one sticks. So you should be able to get the par threes.
So you're saying I can play one until I birdie it.
You can do it in whatever order you want to do it. But you don't have to play out, if you have a bad tee shot, you don't have to play out the entire hole where that's costing you time.
Oh.
Like where I'm at in my lot in
life.
Do
you have somebody that's got that $500,000 or $500 million? Do you have somebody that has that money? And then what prison is it? Minimum security, maximum security? Is it Alcatraz? Is it solitary confinement?
I think where I'm at in my lot in life, because of the ages of my children, I would not do it. But if I was an empty nester, what you are, I think I'd consider it.
If you look in Deuce's bedroom, I'm not an empty nester. He's still there.
Well, he can take over as man of the house then until you're back.
I can't take
That's
that.
it for 5 questions.
I'm not good enough. I can't take that.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions.
Somebody like you.
Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
You've had an experience that's not unlike that of a PGA Tour player, and if you were at what must be your favorite course, Pheasant Acres, where you shot a 74, maybe that would be a good bet for you.
What if you had 1 hour to go and you still had to get one birdie? Just hang on with all the pressure.
Well, and then,
I'd be shaking over that putt.
At Prestwick. Now, do I get to pick the tees? I mean, what are the tees? See, that's the thing. If I'm playing like white tees.
I think white would be fine.
Well, 5, 13, 15, 11. Those are all really tough holes for me. As it is, it's hard to make a birdie. Nah. I like Mother Freedom too much.
24 hours.
I'm free at last. I'm not going to do it. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more. We're broadcasting live from the Hazeltine National Golf Course for the Federated Golf Challenge to support big brothers, big sisters. Brett, I bet you got a keyword, don't you?
I do not. I think we're taking a little sabbatical.
Oh, we're taking a little sabbatical there. So we'll take a sabbatical and we'll take a break. We'll be back with more after this right here on The Fan.
KFAN.
Mall of America's mystery cards are back, and we're bringing them to you all summer long. Come grab yours at KFAN events throughout the summer or wherever you see our KFAN street team. Then make sure to redeem them at Mall of America for fun prizes and big discounts. See a full list of events at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
It's a sunsplash day out at Hazeltine National Golf Course here in Chaska, site of all sorts of national and actually, national championships, U.S. Opens, PGA championships, women's, the LPGA's PGA championship. Amateur championships, and, of course, the Ryder Cup as well. I'm the common man, Dan Cole, along with B, and we're excited and delighted to be joined by John Geehan. He is the Chief Insurance Officer of Federated Insurance, and we're here because Federated Insurance is the title sponsor. It's their tournament that they put on for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Have been doing it for years, and John, you're the Chief Insurance Officer of Federated Insurance. Pretty good gig if you can get it. What do you do as the Chief Insurance Officer for Federated?
Yeah, I get that
in a
question.
nutshell.
Yeah. So for starters, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being part of the Federated Challenge and spreading the word
Thanks for
this outstanding event that we put on. So the Chief Insurance Officer reports directly to the CEO and the Chairman. And in that role, I'm responsible for a number of different functions, both functions core to the operations as well as support functions as well. And then I work closely with the entire leadership group for the organization as well. So super, super proud, super privileged to have that opportunity with Federated.
Are you working out of Owatonna then, or
I do.
you
Yes,
work
correct.
out of Owatonna?
Home office in Owatonna.
Yeah, and you're so do you live down in Owatonna then? Work right out of there, or you or do you? What do they call it when you're working
Remote?
remotely? Yeah, do you do any remote work?
I do not do remote work. We spend all of our time in the office face to face, and I do live right in Owatonna, part of the Owatonna community. I'm proud to be there.
I used to belong to the Owatonna Country Club. Nice golf course. You ever play there?
Every Monday night.
Every Monday night over at the Owatonna
when it's
Country
not snowing.
Club. Yeah, well, it snows here a lot. You're from Detroit, just like me.
I am from Detroit, born and raised our children in the Detroit area as well.
5 Mile Road, you said?
5 Mile Road in Redford, right on the edge of Detroit.
I was in either 8 or 10, and the reason I don't remember is I told you off air, I moved away when I was 3 or 4 years old, and but we had some a fun exchanging catastrophic Kitty collapses because you're a Lions fan and I am as well.
I am a Lions fan.
Yeah,
been with them the entire time, and it feel weird to turn away from them. So,
how long were you in Detroit before you? I mean, was it from Detroit here to Owatonna, or did you bounce around and live in different places in the country?
Yeah, we had a little bit of path working with Federated Insurance. Okay. I started in Michigan. We moved to Indianapolis. Spent 4 years in Indianapolis. Had the opportunity to move to Scottsdale, work out of our office in Scottsdale for a few years, and moved to Owatonna in 2021.
So you've been removed from Detroit for how long?
We've been removed from Detroit since 2015, so 10 years.
Yeah, seems like a lifetime with the Kitties, right?
It does. You got it.
Yeah. Last 2 years were pretty good, though.
Last 2 years have been really good, very, very encouraging.
Yeah. Raised a lot of money last night. Almost, what was it? Just
$4,945,000.
Yeah, at the gala, and then and does that include golf tournament as well, or is that just the gala? Or is that the whole?
That's the whole kit and caboodle.
That's a lot of money, and I think Roger said is it $62 million or so over the years that you've been doing the tournament?
Over the 21 years that we've had the Federated Challenge, the amazing thing, Dan, is we have set records every single year. I mean, new records year after year, and just what our employees do, sharing their talents, their generosity, their talents, their time, our corporate business partners sharing their financial success as well. To just really, at the end of the day, what's most important is helping the kids out.
Yeah. How many sponsors do you think you have that help this thing grow? What would you say would be your guess?
About 130.
130 sponsors. That's a lot of sponsors. Do you have a lot of? I mean, this tournament, I've worked with a lot of charity events over the years, but this has to be the biggest as far as the scope of it, how much money's been raised, and amount of volunteers, and with the gala and the golf tournament itself. We were talking earlier with Nick and Jessica Lauer, who are the Federated Challenge co-chairs, the first year they've done it. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to put an event like this together. A 2-day event, the gala last night and the golf tournament itself, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. In fact, Roger Bailey, who's in charge of leading this effort for us, we'll have about 30 days off of the Federated Challenge, busy with other functions, and then he'll be right back at it, leading a team for the next 11 months to put next year's event on. But keep in mind, outside of Roger, our employees, they volunteer their time outside of their day job to make this event happen. So it is, again, we're blessed that they share their talents and their time.
And, it's tournaments, charity events come and go. They're hard to keep going and generate interest for people to go to a gala, to do silent auction stuff, to play in the event itself. And there have been tournaments that I've played in that eventually have just kind of gone by the wayside, right? It's too much work. It's hard to do. Get a golf course, the whole thing. It seems as though the Federated Challenge for Big Brothers Big Sisters just keeps growing.
It does. And again, every year we've been setting records, and it goes back to our corporate business partners who've just done a phenomenal job of stepping up and showing their involvement and their financial support. This thing is just getting better and better, which means we can help more kids at the end of the day.
For financial support or for volunteers, or let's say there are people out there listening that might want to be either big brother, big sister. What's their best route? What should they do?
Absolutely. I mean, they can contact Big Brothers Big Sisters at the state or their local level, depending on where they live, and they are always looking for applicants to become bigs.
John, thanks for your time. Thanks for having us here. We do appreciate it very much. Go Kitties.
It's my pleasure. Go Lions.
Yeah, there we go.
The roar's been restored.
Yeah, well, the roar has been restored. John Geehan, he's the Chief Insurance Officer at Federated Insurance. Short break. Come back with more here on the Common Man program with Tennessee out at Hazeltine here on the Fan.
Want to tell me what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows? Well, you can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Just let us know you to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Standard text message and data rate supply.
That wouldn't be a bad team nickname, the Derechos.
It's not bad, yes.
It's not bad, especially the Delaware Derechos.
Well, especially if you're like a football team.
Yeah.
So then when it's third down for the other team, you get the sound effect going to get the crowd all pumped up.
Do that sound effect again. That's really good. I like that. You could do the sound effect for me. It would be a great gig if you could get it. Tennessee, I'm going to ask you, I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
I had this conversation with my golf partner today. Let's say that
$500 million.
No, not that one. No, this one. You have become who's the worst team in football right now? Or one of the worst teams that would be looking for a new general manager.
I think it's going to be the New Orleans Saints this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you get hired as the general manager for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
And you have a choice between one of these two coaches. You can hire either one. They're both free agents. Kevin O'Connell or Dan Campbell. Who would you hire?
Kevin O'Connell.
See, that's what everybody says. They immediately go with Kevin O'Connell. And you're going to think this is because he coaches Detroit. I'd take Dan Campbell every time.
I'm curious to see how Dan Campbell does without his coordinators this year.
I think Detroit's going to surprise people. I think they're going to win the big game. Here's the reason I would take Campbell, and I could be crazy. Okay, and I know the Viking fans are going to they're going to say I'm rubing it up for Detroit. Maybe I am, but here's what I'll tell you. Of all the sports, it still seems to me that football is the one that they get behind that head coach and they'd run. And I just think they like that kind of dopey. He seems like kind of that dopey gosh and run through brick walls and bite kneecaps. And I think those guys like that stuff. And I don't know. I
feel like that type of stuff, though, is usually just for a short spurt of time.
You think so?
Right? Like, I think
maybe.
6-7 years down the road, they're still not falling for the kneecap routine.
You could be right. Okay, if you could hire any coach in the NFL, let me guess, you'd take O'Connell. Would you take him over Andy Reid? Would you take him over LaFleur? Is it LaFleur in Green Bay? Who else is that? Ben Johnson getting his first
I
shot.
would need to know how much longer Andy Reid is planning on coaching.
Right, yeah.
But assuming Andy Reid has 10 more years in front of him, I would take Andy Reid. After that, I mean, you're probably thinking McVay.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I mean, KOC is going to be top 5.
He's top 5. There's no question about that. He's top 5.
I mean, I'd take him over the Harbaughs. I'd probably take him over.
Yeah, I think I would too. Tomlin would be a tough
Dan
one.
Campbell. I'd take him over Nick Sirianni. Yeah, I mean, he'd be top 5.
Yeah, he's top 5 for sure. But yeah, I think.
What about Sean Payton?
It's a tough call. It really is. And, I think part of what you said, like some of these coaches, the older ones, maybe even they still want to keep coaching, but how many, I don't want to say the game has passed them by, but is that drive, like when you're young, like a fourth year for O'Connell, just getting started, young kid, he's in his, late 30s? Mid-30s, late 30s, he's still got a lot of, I mean, my guess is he springs out of bed every day, can't wait to get to the office and start working, right? And I think sometimes when you get to be, I mean, I guess Pete Carroll still shows a lot of energy, but you're 70 years old, man. And Reid is too, I guess.
Andy Reid, I mean, that's why you got to give Andy Reid lots of credit, right? Like, a lot of coaches, Andy Reid's age, I'm not even talking about from the energy standpoint, I'm just talking about the X's and O's of football. Like a lot of them tend to, this is what worked for me back in this generation, so I got to keep going with this. Like he's evolved with the times, and even at his age, we are now in a league where the Sean McVays came along, and it's got to get that young analytical coach.
Correct.
And Andy Reid still is as innovative as any coach out there in football. So you give him lots of credit.
Did you see the it's a CBS Sports story, might have been reported elsewhere. Headline, Warriors' Steph Curry explains why NBA players are underpaid and how the league can fix it. Says they're underpaid.
Curry or Draymond Green who said this?
Well, and then, it's interesting. They're part of the story before, and I'll get to the quotes and the logic from Curry, and I guess you could make an argument of what he's saying might have some truth to it, but think of this. How about this? Talks about how Shea is going to make an estimated $75 million in 2031, the final year of his deal. The Booker kid, he's set to make around $75 million in the last year of his deal. And it says, these are unthinkable numbers for most fans, especially when compared to the salaries of stars in other major American sports. Here's the example they use. Thanks to the contract he recently signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, reserve forward Santi Aldama. Are you doing a who there? Because I am. I have no idea who he is. I don't even know if I pronounced it correctly. I should have asked Rose, and he would know. Though you'd probably call him Eldama or Eldama, depending upon how he felt that day.
The Santi or Santi?
And is it Santi or Santi? Reserve forward Santi Aldama, not exactly a household name, is set to earn roughly the same salary as 10-time Pro Bowl tight end Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs and Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh, who currently leads the Major League Baseball in home runs.
Yeah.
During the 2024-2025 season, the average NBA player made nearly $12 million, dwarfing the NFL average of about $3 million. Now, it does say, obviously, there are all sorts of reasons, not the least of which is the roster size, right?
Yeah.
But it helps explain why there's such sticker shock when it comes to NBA contracts. But here's what Curry said. Now, he's set to make $60 million next year, by the way. He was on some podcast of some sort, and here's what he said. I think because of the way the CBA is structured right now, we can't participate in equity. And that's a big deal because it is a partnership with ownership. It's a partnership with the league, and we're on the short term of that revenue. Those contract numbers sound crazy, but what the league is doing from whatever era you want to compare it to now is probably 10 times that. The idea that we can't participate in equity while we're playing is part of why I would say, yes, we are underpaid because we want to be able to participate in that rise. Hopefully, sooner than later, those rules change a little bit so the players can participate more in the upside of team equity, the league valuations, and all that type of stuff, just because I think we deserve it. So then the story says, in layman's terms, Curry is essentially saying that players should be able to earn an ownership stake in their team while they're still playing, which is currently prohibited by the NBA's CBA. There have been intimations of wink-wink agreements between franchises and players, such as when Dave Robinson purchased a small piece of San Antonio in 2004, a year after he retired. But Curry claims that players should be able to reap those benefits while they're still putting fans in the seats. Much like the salaries, NBA team valuations have skyrocketed over the past 2 decades. In 2000, Forbes ranked the New York Knicks as the league's most valuable franchise at $395 million. So 25 years ago, $395 million. Fast forward to 2025, the Lakers sold to Mark Walter for $10 billion valuation. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, largely thanks to Curry, the Warriors have went from $168 million valuation in 2000, 22nd in the NBA, to an estimated $8.8 billion in 2024. Yeah. And I think so. What he's saying
and
is
what they're charging for.
Yeah. And so I think what that equity thing, when you do think about it, the money is mind-boggling what they're making, but the people, and I guess it's the old well, if you want to own the team, buy one. Okay, make more money and buy a team because I own the team and this is the going rate. According to the CBA, this is what we have. We have a salary cap. We have X amount of dollars. We have luxury taxes and all that. So whatever you make, knock yourself out. But I can understand why a player would say, well, if it wasn't for me, it's what I used to say, and I still do when I look at management. I go, I say this to salespeople every time they start at the radio station. Oh, now I'm doing it with tongue in cheek, of course, but I say, Well, so you're another guy that's going to be making more money off of me than I'm making off me and I'm me. In other words, Curry looks at it and says, well, yeah, you're paying me a lot of money, but this franchise is making more money off of me than I'm making off me and I'm me, and I should
and
get...
he changed it all.
Yeah, and he changed it all, and it's like...
Now, they drafted him.
Right. And
could have been Glenn Taylor, by the way.
It could have been. So I see what he's saying. I still think the average fan, like me, still kind of has I have a hard time wrapping my head around. I mean, we know $30 million won't get you to the grave, foo, but we're talking about $60 million a year he's going to make next year. But I can understand why there would be a little bit of, I don't know, animosity maybe toward ownership, where you go, wait now, man, with the kind of money that this league is generating, with contracts we're getting and everything. I mean, look at, for instance, look at the NBA. I mean, they're jumping from Turner and stuff. Now they're going back to NBC, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much money in the National Basketball Association, and these guys, and again, their lifespans in the sport are pretty short, relatively speaking. I mean, Curry will end up being, how many years has he been in the league? 10, 12? Is he going to be a 15-year guy, or has he been that much already? I don't remember when he came into the league. Well, he came in the league and on the Rubio draft. What year was that? I don't recall now. But anyway, my point is, let's even place
mid to late 2000s.
I think that's exactly right. So maybe he even makes, let's just say out of argument's sake, he plays 20 years in the league. But if you start looking at how much the value of the franchise increase, and it's mostly due to the biggest stars too. You know, these are the guys
in the NBA.
Yeah, in the NBA, the LeBrons is if you're known either by just your first name or a nickname, you probably do deserve more money if you're looking at big picture like that, how much is generated. But I still find it sounds crazy when you laughed out loud like I did when I saw the headline. You know, Steph Curry thinks NBA players are underpaid, and you start laughing because you go, you can't be serious. But
well, I mean, to your point when you're talking about the salespeople and all that, 95%, that might even be light. 95% of the people listening right now are underpaid, compared to what they are bringing in for the company that they work for.
Yeah, that's right.
While you are making probably a nice, comfortable living,
it's fine.
Compared to what you bring into the company, you're probably underpaid.
Yeah,
probably everyone at the radio station is.
Correct.
Steph Curry, as much as he's making, he is
probably underpaid.
He is correct that compared to what he has made for the owner of the Golden State Warriors and what he's made for the league in the NBA, he's underpaid. As weird as that is, as weird as that sounds. Now, I'm not going to feel any sympathy for him. No. I think he'll be okay, and he himself is, investing in franchises, right? Aren't they part of the ownership of the Valkyries, the WNBA team? He's going to be dipping his toe in all of that stuff after his career is over. But, yeah, I mean, that's the way corporate America works is the tiny 0.5% at the top is making more money than they probably should compared to everybody else.
So there's another NBA story that and there's no quotes from, we'll use the nickname King James, or we just call him LeBron.
I thought it was LeBron.
LeBron headline: James reuniting with Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. Lakers star has interest in Mavericks per report. Though per this report, I don't see any quote from James, and I don't know when you're currently under contract, if you're able. I don't know what the rules are.
He wants to hang out with Anthony Davis and Kyrie again?
I think that's what it sounds like to me, and it's like, as a matter of fact, I think he opted into the, because didn't he have the option? He could have left, but he opted in because, and the idea was, especially in his case, it's like he ain't playing for the money anymore. I mean, he'll take the paycheck, trust me, but he wants to see, I think he wants to add to that championship stuff, because has he won 4 world championships? I think it's 4, I think. Michael had 6, right? And I don't know who has the most of all time. I'm not sure who it is, for sure. But you want to add now you're talking about just adding money. You're talking about, or not money, not so much money, but you're talking about.
LeBron's won 4. Yeah,
you're talking about winning championships and adding to your legacy, right? So that's why he was, for him it's not, well, I want to go to the highest bidder. What his is I want to go to the place where I have the best chance to win another championship. And then that goes back to, and I think this is part of the reason, I don't know if you like this or not, where and I think LeBron was sort of kind of the first person to really get the ball rolling in this direction. And what I'm getting to is, well, I want to win a championship. Hey, let's put 3 of my pals together. Super teams, and let's go over and play. So that's almost what he's doing now, where he's going.
I'm waiting for Anthony Edwards to pull that off. Bring some players to come play with him,
or get ready for the dun.
We already just sent Durantula.
Or get ready for the dun, where he says, I can't win here. I want to go somewhere else. And he decides to leave, Now, it certainly doesn't seem like that's where he
hasn't given any indication of that yet.
Exactly. But you just don't know. But that's why, like when Durantula, and look, he was every bit as responsible for those championships in Golden State as Steph was, as Draymond was, and as Iguodala and the rest of the guys in the roster. And Clay. He was absolutely spectacular. If you look at the numbers that he posted all those years, I think he was at the top or near the top in almost every category, because probably except 3-pointers, which was Steph. But he did join a 72-win team. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and so I still think he's going to show you his ring and be proud of it. And I'm not saying he shouldn't, and I'm not even. I don't know. I'm not saying there should be an asterisk there, but just to jump around, it was like, and I guess that's the way free agency is. It all started back in the late 60s with Curt Flood in baseball, where he was the first guy to do it. He just basically said, well, why should I have to keep playing for the same team year after year after year? Free agency, not only great for the players, I think it's great for organizations and great for fans, because it gives your team an opportunity. Because if we'll put it this way, with the past couple of drafts we've had, it's awful nice to have free agency,
sure.
Right? Because our draft classes just haven't, under this current regime, haven't been that great, right?
The Vikings are the only ones who appear to actually dip their toe into the free agency.
Right.
The other 3.
Yeah, the other 3 don't. So, but sometimes it's like, well, especially in the NBA, because in football. Yeah, you're talking about 53 guys on a team, so a lot of your homegrown players are going to have to be really good. Your drafts have to be good, because it's very rare, I think. I don't know, unless someone provided me with a roster and some numbers about successful teams that were put together mostly through free agency, I'd find that hard to believe, because generally when you get to free agency, the players you're acquiring are asking for fairly large contracts, right? So, but in basketball, you just need to put 2-3 guys together, and all of a sudden you got a super team. So, but Steph feels like he's underpaid, and I like we say, I don't think anybody's going to shed any tears for him, but
he'll be okay.
Yeah, he should be. But I still found it interesting that. I did the same thing you did when I saw the headline. I had to read it, because it was like, what do you mean we're underpaid? But when you talk about the equity and what these players have done for these franchises over the years, I think there's something to it. Development.
Well, plus, like in Steph Curry's case, right? He's elevated the salaries of everyone else in the league too.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you just mentioned Devin Booker. Devin Booker's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Should he be making $75 million like SGA? Should he be making more than what Steph Curry's done for this league? No, he's making that amount because players like LeBron and Steph have, and obviously all the players before him.
Paved the way, yeah.
The Kobes and the Michaels and the Shaqs and going back even further, that they've elevated the league to that point where a Devin Booker, who has the guy won a playoff series? I don't know. Is making $75 a year.
So we're overlooking hole 9. It's a scramble. How far are they from that flag? Tend to be 50 yards.
You look at the hole on the right.
The one right in front of us.
Yeah, I would.
50 yards. First player just sculled it over the green. Next player, this looks pretty good. No, it's short. It's on the green. They're putting.
Yeah, you can. Well, I've seen them attempt the putts on this. No, I haven't seen anyone drain a putt here, because that seems like it's right on the edge of the hill there. So it's going to be a right to left putt from where they're at.
The only, the best part about playing the scramble out at Hazeltine if you scull it 40 yards over the green, you don't have to get it. Your 4 caddy goes and gets your ball for you. There's nothing better than. Here's another wedge. This is.
He tried to go low.
Yeah, that's just about the same. He's 30 feet short. Is that it? Yeah. Wow. From 50 yards out, you still got 40 feet for birdie. Well, if it's for birdie, I would think it is. I would hope it's for birdie. But and then bat flip story we talked about last week.
Yes. Oh yeah. Suspension gone.
Suspension's gone, and then I think the kid struck out twice and they lost. Anyways, poor kid. So his attorney dad got them
probably under a lot of stress over the last week. Yeah,
he got them to live a suspension, and then I don't know if you saw they some enterprising reporter went around to major league dugouts and asked.
Is this like a Roomba lawnmower out here?
Yeah, that's one of those Roombas that just goes automatic. It's cutting the rough. They need to too. It's thick out here.
How does it get all of it?
I don't know.
It is thick rough.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a Tesla. Doesn't it look like a Tesla?
Yeah, it does.
Now, I could take a cheap shot, but I won't. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, so then some enterprising reporter went around to major league dugouts and started asking, what do you think about the controversy of the kid? Every one of them said, let him flip the bat, man.
Sure.
We do it. We're just trying to have fun
That's
out
where
here.
he saw it, yeah.
Put it this way, Ten. So what we get drunk, so what we smoke, we were just having fun. We don't care who sees. They're just having fun is all they're doing.
By the way, I don't think that one was for birdie because they just all picked up.
Oh, yeah.
They all picked and left up.
Yeah.
So, which means they can't bogey a hole.
Yeah.
Is what that means. They've already advanced on.
That would be, speaking of advanced, that's one of the greatest advancements in the history of scramble golf tournaments. Once you've hit as many shots as it is to make par, even if you're 200 yards from the green, pick it up.
You're out.
Because par ain't going to win anyways. You need to make birdies in these things if you're going to win. So it's probably the best idea they ever came up with. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Got another hour to go. We're back out at training camp on Wednesday, in studio tomorrow. We've got I think 3 or 4 more training camp shows to do as we approach preseason game number 1. Is that August 22nd or no? There's got to be
for
one
the
before
Vikings?
then. Yeah, there's got to be one before then, doesn't there?
We're like in a week and a half.
Just a
for
week and a
Vikings.
half out?
Yeah, the
August
9th.
August 9th.
We got the Texans.
Texans, is it here?
It's at our place, and I'm hearing that might be the only one we see that J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. It's a big preseason game. They're all big. We know that. Let's take a break. We'll come back with Last Hour live from Hazeltine. Federated Insurance's a fundraiser for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Back with more after this here on The Fan.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.